guys, I'm Josh. Today my video is about Steve Jobs was employing a spiritual principles when he decided to focus on several types of Apple products. Steve Jobs invented iPhone, iPod, iPad, and many Apple products. Those achievements were a result of Steve Jobs' clear vision of what he wanted, and it enabled him to have a laser-like focus on what he wanted to accomplish. He often told his employees and executives that deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Although he had co-founded Apple in 1976, Jobs was fired in 1985. When he returned to the company in 1997, it was a mess. Jobs immediately undertook a surgery of the company, its employees and its products. There were too many products, too many versions of software, and too many competing visions for the company. So as a result, he spent months working to sort through the morass. Finally, in a product strategy session, Jobs told his employees to stop some kinds of development. He went to the whiteboard and drew a horizontal line and a vertical line to make a four-square chart. Here's what we are going to do, he slammed. Apple is going to make one product for each quadrant. Instead of developing multiple different products and even expanding into the other industries, he wanted Apple to mainly focus on one industry and on 3 or 4 products. Within months of its return, Apple had cut 70% of its models and products and was devoting all its resources to a handful of projects. Jobs reduced Apple's 15 desktop computers to one type of desktop computers, and he cut all portables and plantops to one kind of notebooks, and he ended projects such as printers and other materials. He also laid off research and development engineers and software developers, and he decreasing distributors and closed 5 retailers across the country, leaving only 1 retailer in the whole America. He moved almost all products manufacturing to Taiwan, because keeping only the Asian production line will allow Steve Jobs to reduce inventory by more than 80%. And he cut distribution channels and built new online direct selling stores to decrease the cost. Once again, Jobs was employing a spiritual principle. In Matthew chapter 6, verses 33, Jobs told his followers, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." God knows that if our lives are scattered in too many things, too many directions, we will fail at everything. The truly important things will get crowded out by trivialities. When thine eye is single, Jesus said, "Thy whole body is also full of light." This sentence comes from Book of Luke, chapter 11, verses 34. God demands us that we maintain our focus on what really matters. Despite of his success and wealthy life, like all men, Steve Jobs had his share of flaws. Steve Wozniak, his partner at Apple and the man largely responsible for the engineering behind the empire, he said that he could never trust his integrity. This great computer magnate was self-centered and very selfish. He highly combustible and often brutally honest with his criticisms. Early in his career, he had a child out of wedlock. Although he was a millionaire and powerful man at the time, he rejected his daughter and humiliated her mother in the national press. Despite all his material success, Steve Jobs was constantly searching for spiritual enlightenment. As a young man, he told his bosses at Atari in 1974 that he was quitting his job and going to India in search of a religious guru who could help him find himself. And as a young man, he went to college for 6 months, where he became interested in Zen Buddhism. Eagering for spiritual enlightenment, the host stayed with Jobs for his whole life. After returning from India, he continued his search for enlightenment. I think different religions are different doors to the same house, he said once. Sometimes I think the house exists, and something I don't. It's the great mystery. A few months before he died, Jobs was talking with his followers about the meaning of life and the existence of God. I'm about 50-50 on believing to God, he said. For most of my life, I've felt that there must be more to our existence than meets the eyes. I think it's sad for him. And Steve Jobs has spent a lifetime searching the planet for a higher authority, and the best conclusion he could draw was there is more to our existence than meets the eye. Although he is brilliant, his highly educated man transformed the world with his dazzling gadgets, iPhone, iPad, and iPod, and many extra products that changed the world. He could pick up the phone and talk to president and prime minister around the world. Frankly speaking, the man lacked a relationship with the one omnipotent, all-powerful living God. The moment that God created man is recorded in Genesis 1 verses 26. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Have you ever wondered why God would create man after the image and likeness of God? In Incredible Human Potential, Herbert Armstrong explains this stunning little verse. But man was made in the form and shape of God, to have a special relationship with God, to have a potential of being born into the family of God. There are literally hundreds of verses in the Bible, like Genesis 1 verses 26 that I spoke it previously. Short verses with profound, life-changing meaning. Verses that prove God exists, that explain why man was put on earth, that explain God's plan for man, and it explains if there is life after death. This is the end of the video today. If all of you like my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my video, and I hope to see you guys again in future. Have a nice day. Bye!